Hello, Namaskar. Welcome you to the SAAR Analysis. I am Chaman Nayak and here's my take. Pakistan faces a convergence of crises in any recent years. A nation more than 240 million people armed with nuclear weapons and already struggling through repeated IMF bailouts is simultaneously confronting political unrest, economic distress and expanding security challenges across multiple regions. This is no longer just a Pakistan story, it is a geopolitical development with consequences that extend South Asia, China's strategic ambition, and a wider international community. Here's what evidence speaks about, and the pressure is emerging from the three directions at once. The Pakistan-administered Jammu and Kashmir public protests that began soaring over electricity prices and inflation have evolved into broader demonstration demanding better governance and greater political rights and institutional accountability. Now, as election approaches, new question dominates the conversation. Can an election be viewed as credible when public trust that is rapidly eroding? Analysts argue that Islamabad possesses an administrative capacity that could conduct vote. Legitimacy cannot be guaranteed through logistics alone. Public frustration over unemployment, inflation, shortages of essential services, and growing presence of security forces have increasingly overshadowed the election campaign itself. While adding another layer of comparison, the development across line of control in the Jammu and Kashmir, where infrastructural expansion and public investment has become a wider political narrative. Meanwhile, hundreds of kilometers away in Balochistan, Pakistan continues to confront one of South Asia's longest running insurgency. Yet recurring violence highlights the deeper reality. Military victories on the battlefield did not necessarily resolve the political condition. Adding further layer of complexity, Pakistan's western frontier with Afghanistan continues to demand significant military escalation, military attention, forcing security forces to operate across multiple theaters simultaneously. Well, this observation is increasingly relevant today because Pakistan is confronting across three interconnected pressure: an economy under the severe strain, a deep political polarization, and expanding internal security commitments. Each challenge amplifies the others. For investors, the prolonged instability, questions about economic reforms, foreign direct investment, and infrastructural security. For China, the instability directly affects China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, one of the flagship projects of Belt and Road Initiative, much of which passes through security-sensitive region. For South Asia, the continued internal unrest rises. This uncertainty is one of the world's most strategically significant and nuclear-armed region. Now let's look at the bigger picture. History rarely remembers the countries that collapse because of one single crisis. It remembers those where the multiple crises converge simultaneously. Economic hardship, political distrust, institutional fatigue, and security instability, where this pressure begin reinforcing one another, this governing becomes unexploitative. The central geopolitics is no longer whether Pakistan can contain isolated protest or militant attacks. It is whether this institution can restore the public confidence while managing multiple long-term challenges at the same time. Now here's my take. Governments are ultimately judged by the ability to conduct elections or launch military operation, but by the ability citizens that institution remain fair, effective or accountable still to question out. Well, security can restore order, but only credible government can restore the trust. Pakistan's greatest challenge today may not be defeating individual protest or insurgency. It may be rebuilding legitimacy, because today's crisis evolve into tomorrow's structural instability. Pakistan internal unrest is no longer an isolated domestic issue. It is now intersects across regional security, economic confidence, China's strategic investment, and India's neighborhood calculus. Because we all know in geopolitics, the strength of a nation is measured not only by the security of in its border, but by the confidence of people living within them. That's all from today's analysis. I will be back with another episode. Till then, thank you for watching this.